Hi, I'm Caroline and I'm the Yoga Crow. Today is World Sleep Day. It's March the 13th, 2020, and I know I've got a lot of friends, family and people generally around the world, and some of the kids and teens I teach that are feeling a bit worried and anxious about the situation at the moment. So I thought I'd make a small or short video on some techniques to help you relax, ease any anxiety and worry, and also help you get to sleep. Often when we're worried or anxious, we tend to tense up, we curl round, and our body feels quite tight and quite stiff. So I'm just going to go through a few stretches and some breathing techniques to help us slow down and be a little bit more mindful and help the body to relax. As soon as the muscles are stretched and softened, the body and the mind is able to relax a little bit more easily. So to begin with, we're going to start with our belly breathing. Taking our hands on the belly. I'm standing, my feet are hip distance apart, my toes are pointing forwards. I've got a slight bend in my knees, soft knees here. So I'm almost in the Tadasana pose, mountain pose. Of course, you could do this seated on a chair or seated on your mat or on the floor, but whatever feels comfortable for you in this moment. I'm going to close down my eyes and start to bring my focus to the breath. If you can, you're breathing in and out of the nose. And start to really notice where the breath is going. Often if we're feeling anxious and worried, the breath tends to be much higher up in the chest. What we want to try and do is to bring it down and into the belly. Really big belly breaths. With the hands on the belly, you should hopefully be able to feel the belly rising and falling as you inhale and exhale. Notice how as you inhale, the breath feels cool, and as you exhale, the breath feels warm. Now you can carry on doing this for the next minute or two, really breathing into the belly. But if it's coming easily now, I want us to try and extend the exhalation. So by doing this, I've done straw breathing before, I think, on videos. It's almost like you're breathing out through the straw to extend the exhalation. So when you're breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. So still filling the belly with the breath, and then exhaling the breath out and feeling the belly deflate. With the belly button moving towards the spine. If this doesn't feel right for any reason, just go back to very simple belly breathing, expanding the belly with the breath. Hopefully you're feeling slightly more grounded. You may feel your shoulders have dropped a little bit further down. By focusing on the breath, the mind can feel a little bit calmer, a little bit quieter. As it gives us something to focus on and anchor on. Finishing one last round here and coming into Tadasana pose. So standing with hip distance apart, shoulders are rolling down here. There's a softness here. Hands are feeling quite heavy. We're going to take our right ear to our right shoulder, and you'll feel a slight stretch down the left side. Coming back up to centre and taking the left ear to the left shoulder. Coming back up to centre. We're going to take our chin to a jugular notch here, just here, so tapping the chin. We're going to bring a bit of a stretch to the back of the neck. Allow the shoulders to feel soft, the shoulder blades to drop down the back. Coming back up to centre and taking the head back only as far as feels comfortable. If it feels too much, come back to centre. Maybe going all the way back, feeling a stretch in the throat. And coming back down to centre. This time we're going to look to the right. Coming back through centre and looking to the left. Coming back through to centre here as well. We'll do some shoulder rolls, so bringing the shoulders up to the ears and then all the way back and down and forwards. So making as much of a movement as you can, big circles here. As you're coming forwards, arching the back slightly, as you're coming back, bringing the shoulder blades almost together. We're going to be doing 3 or 4 one way, and then the same number coming forwards. This is hopefully relieving some tension, top of the back, trapezius muscles. Remembering to breathe as you work through the movements. We're going to reach up here. I'll step back so you can see. Again, my feet are hip distance apart, my knees are soft. I'm going to breathe in, I'm going to reach the hands up. My palms are facing inwards and dropping the shoulders down. I'm going to reach over to the right side, keeping the weight even in both feet. Reaching through that left hand, coming back up to centre and over to the left hand side, reaching through, creating a long stretch, lateral stretch here. Breathing in to come back up to centre and breathing out to bring the arms all the way down. I'm going to do a very gentle twist here. I'm going to take my left hand to my right hip and twist round. Again, my feet are still facing forwards, my knees are soft. We're going to come back round to the centre and go to the other side. Coming back round to centre and dropping the arms. We'll do a couple of wrist stretches here. Imagine you're holding a bicycle or a motorbike. And making small movements, bringing some movement to the wrist area here. Remembering there's no right or wrong way to feel any of these stretches, these movements. Everybody's got an individual body, a different skeleton. And then stretch the hands out and do some finger rolls, some wrist rolls, maybe taking it all the way up to the elbows. Next we're going to do the hips. We're going to do a figure of 8 with the hips here. So I'm going to have my hands on the hips just to bring my attention to that area. And I'm going to do some figure of 8s. If you get to a point where you think, oh, that feels really good, I need to hold it just there, And just hold it there for a couple of breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. Bringing some movement there, the hips, to the pelvis. And coming back down to centre, rolling the shoulders back and down here. We're going to come into cat-cow. Now traditionally this is done on all fours on the mat in a sort of box position, but it's a really good one to do seated or standing. I'm going to breathe in, so look up, take the shoulders back, and breathing out to curl the shoulders around and look towards the feet. It almost feels like I'm taking the shoulder blades apart. Breathing in, take the shoulders back, and breathing out to come all the way forward. Trying to make the breath last as long as the movement, or the movement lasts as long as the breath. Only looking up as if your neck feels comfortable. And doing 2 more, just like this. And coming back to centre. I'm going to give my knees a hug now. I am standing here, you might feel more comfortable sitting in a chair at this point. I'm grounding through my right foot and I'm going to give my knee a little hug here. So a little bit of a balance. Balances are very grounding for us. We're remembering not to lock the knee of the right leg, so I've got a soft bend in that leg and I'm bringing that knee in and giving it a hug. My shoulders are soft. Bringing some more movement to the hip area. And allow that leg to come down and we'll just do the other side. So grounding through that left foot, making sure all 4 corners of the feet or that foot grounded onto your mat. There's a soft bend in the knee and then bringing in the right knee. Find maybe a drishti point, we call it in yoga, a focus point to help us balance. Maybe bringing in the knee in a bit further, a bit higher. Maybe noticing the difference between the 2 sides. And then gently bringing that leg down. I wanted to bring some more movement to the hip now. Actually, I've got a balcony here, so I'm going to hold on to that to help me balance. Maybe you have a chair or a wall you can hold on to. Again, I'm grounding through my left foot. I'm going to bring that right knee up and I'm going to take it out to the side. So you can, if you want to, make it into a balance. Opening up this area and then taking the foot back and coming forward just a touch. So bringing some movement to the hip area. Taking it out, taking the foot back and then the leg back and coming back. You'll notice if you get to here, you can't get any further. You need to rotate and come all the way down. We'll do exactly the same thing on the other side. This always gets me in the lower back. I feel like it brings a little bit more movement to my lumbar spine. And 3 on each side. And then coming back down to centre. Taking a moment here, I want to now work on the hamstrings. So the hamstrings aren't a muscles as such, it's the muscles that go down the back of the legs. And we're going to come into Uttanasana here. So my feet are hip distance apart, you'll see. I like to teach it this way, it feels more stable. There's a softness in my knees. My toes are sort of tracking forwards. And we're going to fold from the chest. So I'll demonstrate sideways on. So from here, shoulders are down, this is softness, we're in our stable Tadasana, so lengthen the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. We're going to fold forwards, we're going to breathe in, And breathe out and folding forwards, leading with the chest, so we're folding through the hips. I've got a bend in my knees at the moment. Slight bend in the knees, and then my hands come to hand down. Now from here, have a little think about the feet. Is the weight distribution even, or have you rocked into your heels or into your toes? Correct that if you need to. I've still got that softness in my knees. I've got extra long arms, so I can cheat slightly. My hands do come to the floor. If your hands don't, maybe take either elbow and hang. Allow the head, the neck to soft. Maybe nod. And shake the head to make sure the neck is relaxed. The shoulders are still away from the ears. The shoulder blades are still drawing down the back. If it feels good here, and you want a little bit more, I want you to imagine you're lifting the sitting bones up to the sky or the ceiling. It's going to create a little bit more length in the back of the thighs here. If it becomes too much, bend into the knees again. Just work with where you can. And bending into the feet. Slowly pushing through both feet to come all the way up. From here, I wanted to stretch our calf muscles. As I'm standing, I'm going to hold onto the balcony here, take one foot behind and have a slight bend in that front leg. This is my left leg here actually at the moment. I've got the knee over the ankle. Try and avoid the knee going over the ankle unless you know you're going to engage these quadriceps and keep the knees safe. So keeping that bent. And my back heel is down. Hopefully you can just about see that on the video. Toes are pointing forwards. I'm getting a nice stretch in the calf muscles. Slowly come up and out. And then the other side. So here, right foot facing forwards, left. Keeping that bend in the knee, but not overshooting the ankle. Nice stretch in the ankle. And calf muscle. Back down to centre. I'm going to do a couple of stretches now for our feet. I'm just going to move the camera so you'll be able to see it more clearly. This is one of the stretches I teach in a lot of my classes to kids, teens, adults. You might find this is too much for your ankles. You can put a pillow, a cushion. If you've got a yoga block in here, I'm coming to my knees and I'm kneeling here. Okay, you might want a couple of blocks or cushions or books here to lean into because we're going to lift our knees. We're going to balance on the top of our feet here. So from here, I'm lifting up my knees. If you know you're able to do it, you can bring the knees up a little bit further and it can become a balance. Shoulders are down. It's a lovely stretch across the top of the feet, but only come as far as you can. Maybe you're just here. That's okay. It's an unusual stretch, just taking it little by little. And then coming back down. And then we'll do our toes. I'm going to stretch my toes out. I'm going to physically put my toes down here because they won't do it on their own. So I've got my toes here, I'm sitting on my heels. Again, this might be too strong for you. If it is, come up, come down. Or wedge a block or a cushion in here, take a little bit of the pressure off. Stretching the toes out. Remembering to breathe, coming back to the breath. When anything feels a little bit tough in a particular asana or yoga pose or stretch, coming back to the breath can help really soften that stretch, giving you something to concentrate on rather than the excruciating pain in my big toe today. And then I'm slowly unhooking my toes and coming down. So we've done stretches from the top of the head, neck, all the way through the back, into the legs and the hips and down to the feet. So hopefully you're already feeling the benefit there of a softness, slight softness in the body. Maybe the body feels a little bit lighter. I'm going to invite you now to either sit cross-legged, and again you might want some height So just to keep your hips level or slightly higher than your knees, or you can come down into Shavasana, which is obviously a lovely relaxation pose we do at the end of a yoga class. So if you're coming into Shavasana, your feet are going to be slightly apart. There's an evenness to the body. Your head comes down to the mat, palms are facing up, almost a sense of evenness there on both sides of the body. Just spending a few minutes there listening to your breath. We're not working with any breath work or pranayama at this point now. We're just focusing on the breath, using that as an anchor to still the mind and allow the body to soften. I hope this has helped you feel a little bit more relaxed, maybe less anxious, less worried, or maybe you're doing this before you go to bed, and I hope this helps support a better night's sleep.